Hello, everyone. My name's Joelle, and welcome to this 10-minute yoga wheel practice. One of my favorite props to help with back pain and just loosening up the whole body. So I'll put a link in the description box below in case you'd like to get your own yoga wheel. And we'll get started by bringing it between the shoulder blades, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You might like to hold onto the wheel by hooking your thumbs into it. And we'll just start nodding the head up and down. So looking up towards the ceiling, and then bringing the chin towards the chest, just observing how this feels with the upper back supported by the wheel. And if you've been practicing with me for a while now, you might know that I always consider 3 pillars to help with pain management and relief: stretching, strengthening, and self-massage. As we now start to take the head around in a big circle. The great thing about the yoga wheel is it can actually help with all 3. And reversing the circle now with that neck. I use my yoga wheel all the time, so I hope that this practice will provide some relief for you as well. As we now bring the feet flat to the mat, take the hands behind the head, lift the hips and just start rolling through the length of your spine. So taking this at your own pace, there's no rush. This movement will look a little bit different on every body. Maybe just noticing how the back responds. If there are any particular tight areas, you can always hold in place. And if you find a nice juicy spot, you could simply hold there, bring the palms together in front of the chest, take some little swimming motions with those arms. So here's one of those strengthening moves I mentioned, just taking the arms out, around, in front. Let's take one more here. Wonderful. And we'll bring the hands back behind the head, sit the hips back down, and turn ourselves around so that the wheel is now to the right of the body, placing it underneath the right rib cage. You might like to hold here, keeping the hips on the mat, or you could lift up, extending through the left arm and left leg. So really let the body sink into the wheel here, finding a natural arch opening up through the entire left side body. Perhaps feeling this in the lower back in the left around the QL muscle. And then sitting the hips back down, we'll simply switch sides, sitting over towards the right of the wheel now, nestling it into the left rib cage and maybe staying here. Or lifting those hips up so that you can rest the left forearm to the mat, extending right arm and right leg. Perhaps this side feels different from the first. Whether that is in the lower back or anywhere else, always a good thing to observe about ourselves. And let's exhale to bring those hips back down, very nice. We'll turn to face the wheel now, coming onto hands and knees. Bring the wheel just a few inches closer to the right side of the mat, place the right hand on top of it, and roll that wheel out in front. So you can bring the left forearm down to the mat. You might release the forehead on top of it, or you could even crawl that left hand a little bit over towards the right for a gentle twist. Opening up through the upper back here and into that right shoulder. And think about directing the breath anywhere you feel sensation. And then let's gently roll the wheel a little bit closer to us, propping back up onto that left palm and holding onto the wheel with the right hand, lift it up. So keeping the hand in line with the shoulder, resisting the weight of the wheel. Great strengthening move here. Great for upper back pain. And set it down. Really nicely done. And now we can move that wheel a little bit closer to the left side of the mat, Place the left hand on top so that we can roll our way forward. Perhaps that right forearm rests down on the mat with the forehead on top of it. Or maybe those fingers crawl a little bit over towards the left for a gentle twist. You're welcome to close the eyes here. You're welcome to find a little bit of movement. Maybe rocking an inch or two forwards and back if that feels nice. Think about pressing the right hip towards the right, just to keep those hips aligned over the knees. And then we'll lift back up onto the right palm, take hold of the wheel with the left hand, and lift it up so that the left arm comes alongside the ear. I know the wheel is heavy. You can do it. Let's hold one more breath here. And exhale to gently set it down. Very nice. Let's sit back on the heels. You can bring the knees apart. Bring both hands on top of the wheel and start to roll it forwards. Releasing the forehead down. Maybe it comes to the mat. Maybe it hangs in space. Again, you could hold still here. Maybe find some gentle rocks, just an inch or two backwards and forwards. Whatever works for you. A few deep breaths here. Giving the body time to open up. And we'll roll ourselves back up, roll the wheel back a little bit closer towards us. Bring the knees together now. Take a moment to shake it out, and then bring the wheel behind you. So holding on with both hands, a little bit of a tricep stretch as well, and see if you can rest the back of the head to the wheel. So encouraging an opening again in that upper spine. Think about pulling the elbows apart, just letting the weight of the wheel encourage that opening. Nice combination of stretch and strength here. And let's bring the wheel back down. Bring it underneath the right quadriceps, resting down onto the forearms, and just roll yourselves back and forth a few times here. Oftentimes back pain very closely linked to tight quadriceps and hip flexors, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting. So this is just a nice way to loosen up the legs, give our lower back a little bit of a fighting chance here. And we'll simply press our way back up and switch sides with the wheel underneath those left hip flexors and quadriceps. Again, a great thing to notice if perhaps one side feels tighter than the other. This is always something you can come back to. One of my favorite self-massage areas using a yoga wheel. And still breathing deeply here. Maybe holding one spot if that feels nice. And let's release, coming out of there. We'll once again bring the wheel behind the back, a little bit closer to the lower back now. Bring the hands back behind the head, lifting the hips up. And again, just rolling through the entire length of the spine. You might even notice some little pops and cracks, just noticing whether anything has changed in these 10 minutes, how the back is feeling, the shoulder, maybe even the neck as well. And of course, I would love to know if you would like more practices with the yoga wheel. Let me know with a comment or by hitting the like button if you enjoyed this one, and I'd be happy to help if I can. Let's sit the hips back down. Just simply hold here, giving ourselves an opportunity to let something go. And then bringing the hands to the chest, thanking yourself for taking these 10 minutes. Take care of yourself to make a difference in your body and mind. I do have lots of other back pain practices on my channel, so I will link to those in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day.